Once upon a time, there were 10 very sad men. They were sad for many reasons. They were sad because they were not allowed to live with their families. They could not even talk to the people they loved. They couldn't even be seen in the same neighborhood as the rest of the people. They weren't prisoners. They were lepers, and they were forced to live outside of the city in the wilderness. Now, leprosy is a terrible disease where you get sores all over your body. Many lepers lose their fingers, toes, and even their eyesight. Leprosy was very contagious, and so if you became a leper, you were immediately kicked out of town. Now, of the 10 sad lepers, 9 were from Jerusalem, and 1 was from Samaria. Now, the Jewish people from Jerusalem didn't like the Samaritans. They thought that people from Samaria were dirty and no good. All of the 10 lepers were sad, but the 1 leper from Samaria was especially sad and lonely. One day, the lepers heard some exciting news. They heard that Jesus from Nazareth was passing through their town on his way to Jerusalem. "Jesus is coming! Jesus is coming!" Everybody knew about Jesus, whether you lived inside the city or out in the wilderness. Jesus was a miracle worker, who some said was sent by God himself. Now the 9 Jewish lepers ran to the edge of town and waited for Jesus. And the 1 Samaritan leper followed behind the group and waited too. Finally, they heard a crowd in the distance. Jesus was coming! Jesus is coming! Jesus is coming! Just as Jesus was passing through the city, the 9 lepers shouted as loud as they could, "Jesus, Master, have mercy on us!" The Samaritan leper also shouted. Jesus stopped walking and turned towards the lepers who were far off in the distance. And all the lepers shouted once again, "Jesus, Master, have mercy on us!" Jesus then cupped his hands over his mouth and shouted back, "Go show yourselves to the priests!" Jesus then walked away, and the crowd quickly followed after him. The 9 lepers all looked at each other, and they all still had the terrible disease. They knew that they could never enter the city unless the priests saw that their disease was gone. And as they wondered what to do, the 1 leper from Samaria ran off towards the temple. The other 9 lepers quickly ran off as well, and that's when the miracle happened. As the lepers were running to the temple to show themselves to the priest, their leprosy was completely cured. When they realized what happened, they jumped up and down for joy and continued running towards the temple. The 1 Samaritan leper, however, stopped and turned around. He began running as fast as he could back towards Jesus. When he caught up with him, he fell to the ground in front of him and said, "Praise God, I'm healed." Then he couldn't stop thanking him. "Thank you, thank you, thank you." That's when Jesus asked a very important question. "Didn't I heal all 10 men? Where are the other 9? The other 9 never returned to say thank you to Jesus, and they missed out because of it.